welcome back and a happy new year to everyone that watches these videos. Of course, this is the beginning of 2024 and things so far have been going incredibly well for crypto and the wider markets. We can see here from CoinMarketCap, their CoinMarketCap Daily Chronicle, the crypto market is looking incredibly green. And this was today of the 2nd of January. Bitcoin has also surpassed $45,000 for the first time in 2024. Total market cap sits at $1.74 trillion or nearly a 6% upside, with 24-hour volume being nearly 60 billion, which is plus 25%. So things at the moment are looking very, very good for cryptocurrencies. And we'll be diving through a ton of news from across the HEDERA ecosystem because a lot of that has been performing incredibly well since probably Christmas onwards. Of course, again, as I said, breaking news being that Bitcoin is back at that $45,000 threshold and looks to be gaining some serious momentum. Actually, in fact, majority of the cryptocurrency market at the moment is performing incredibly well. And we can see that HEDERA just ticks over 10 cents again. And of course, many are looking and screaming now that we will be seeing a bull run coming in 2024. As I've covered in a lot of videos recently, tons of the different macro news as well as sentiment aligns for us having an incredibly strong year throughout 2024. Things like the Fed looking at easing rates and potentially some cuts coming in the near future. Risk on attitudes towards assets are returning, as well as the golden goose, the aforementioned Bitcoin spot ETFs, crypto spot ETFs, where tons of filings are being released consistently, pointing towards potentially those going live in January of this year. Of course, as well, we've got more nuggets of information from across the space when it comes to these ETFs. We've got Mike here. Happy New Year. Big things coming. Block your calendar. That's Invesco and Galaxy looking at a spot Bitcoin ETF applicant as well. Again, further saying big things are coming. I've touched on spot ETFs quite a few times in the past, recently anyway, because of course it is incredibly big news. In fact, there were some very large tweets out from Plan B, who's a very big sort of crypto influencer over on Twitter, who ran a poll asking everyone whether or not they believed that the Bitcoin ETF had even been priced in yet. A majority of people from throughout the markets are saying that effectively majority of this at the moment is new capital and risk on environments. And we haven't even seen the capital yet. The speculation, the price movement of a spot ETF actually being accepted and going live. Interesting tweet here from 𝗟𝗜𝗙𝗘𝗥𝗥𝗔𝗟𝗦. Bitcoin at 45k still feel mispriced for 2024 ETF inflows, as well as the halving excitement. Market consensus is that ETF is long-term bullish for Bitcoin, which is correct, but the front loading of the ETF flows is underappreciated. Effectively summarizing what I just said. Consider that gold ETFs have 120 billion of assets under management with an average expense ratio of 0.6%. That's around $720 million a year in fees. The net present value of those fees is around $10 to $20 billion. So from launch day, ETF issuers will be fighting an all-out land grab for 10 to 20 billion in future fees, while every marketing dollar spent in 2024 is effectively 10 times more important because of pricing ratios, or net present value in this case, the marketing dollars spent in 2025. Since once customers choose an ETF, they don't tend to switch very much, and effectively that ETF manager can cream those fees off those customers. With asset management, you have a business where customer value continues to increase over time, which means getting every customer counts. A kid that puts $1,000 in today could have a position worth $250,000 in 10 years as they mature in their career and the price of Bitcoin grows. When you think about the size of the opportunity, it shouldn't surprise us to see a marketing or ad spend of scale that we saw in the 2021 bull market madness. When you consider the importance of timing for issuers, maybe we even take it a level further, is going to be a bonanza. And to be honest, I completely share this sentiment. If we're looking at effectively the raw fiscal calculation for majority of these ETF issuers, they will not only be looking to launch their ETFs first, but grab as many customers as they potentially can. The only way they're going to grab all those customers is heavy marketing. So potentially we're going to see a ton of new money enter these markets because, again, the word on everyone's lips will either be Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, which is exactly what we saw in 2021 that led us to those new all-time highs. So potentially this ETF could spark the marketing campaigns, the Bitcoin on every word of every corner of every street of everyone's mouth that drives us further into the future. Hopefully everyone is really excited for the launch of these ETFs, but not only that, the volatility, the volume, the price action that it should bring to cryptocurrencies. Taking a closer look then at the HEDERA ecosystem itself, of course, I can't do a HBAR or HEDERA video as of late without mentioning SaucerSwaps, because they have been going above and beyond for development of the infrastructure throughout the ecosystem itself, but also recently driving the amount of volume we've been seeing across the network. SaucerSwap enters the top 25 DEX list across all layer ones throughout the ecosystem, which is just the beginning for HBAR and Source. We see there a tweet from SaucerSwap Labs saying that they are ranked 25th now as a decentralized exchange. As we commence 2024, we secured our position as the 25th largest DEX in terms of total value locked, as reported by DeFi Llama. A huge congratulations to the HEDERA community, and of course, a huge congratulations to the SaucerSwap team for building a phenomenal product, and not only that, continuing to develop it and maintain it going forward into the future. And I completely agree with this sentiment. We will continue to see HEDERA expand. In fact, it is incredibly exciting to look back and think that not even a year or two ago, we had 0 DEXs on HEDERA. We had no DeFi ecosystem. We've been there from the beginning throughout the entire journey, and now we are reaping the rewards of those products and infrastructures that have been built by these teams. And of course, I'm here for it. Not only that, the Source token as well, obviously the primary token of the SaucerSwap DEX, has been performing incredibly well recently. Hopefully some of you guys have been paying attention to this. We had 31% on the 24-hour period. On the 7-day, we had 44% and up over 203% on the monthly. Source has been going on an absolute tear recently. And in fact, majority of the tokens as part of the HEDERA ecosystem, the HTS tokens, have been performing incredibly well. Things like Dovu, a couple of different meme tokens, I think 𝗟𝗘𝗙𝗡 and SaucerSwap, 𝗟𝗚𝗏 from the Karate Combat project itself, loads of different tokens performing incredibly well recently, and will probably continue to outperform HBAR in the short term. This is something I've been saying for months. We typically see this when we see a lot of volume enter into a sort of new ecosystem, a new chain, which kind of HEDERA is for sort of up and coming on the kind of DeFi scene and the sort of retail scene itself. We tend to see those HTS tokens perform incredibly strongly out the gates to begin with. Of course, HBAR itself will continue to perform very well alongside those, but you see the outsized gains because the market cap of these tokens is so low. Of course, inherently, it goes without saying that you need to make sure you're doing your own due diligence, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing potentially a lot more kind of scammy HTS tokens and projects and cash grabs, etc. appear. I will try my best to sort of weed out and speak about those as time goes on throughout the community, and that's what I've done in the past. So hopefully you guys have a good sort of yardstick measure from these videos as to which tokens kind of have a mass following behind them from the community, as well as actually robust development teams and aren't inherently just a scam token looking to grab your cash. But as always, be very, very careful where you're putting your money on these kind of tokens and projects, etc. Stick with the ones we know. You know, things like Source, we know Dovu's been around for a long, long time. 𝗟𝗏𝗏 seems to be very, very safe as well. There are some very big blue chip projects building on top of HEDERA. Want to take a quick look at DeFi Llama as well, because I've had a lot of different messages of people asking me, you know, where does the Source token go in the future? Can it continue and sustain these kind of runs that we've been seeing? It's important to say the market cap we see over here on the right hand side is the fully diluted market cap. So of course, SaucerSwap won't be fully diluted or all the tokens released as part of those tokenomics changes as part of the V2 proposal. Again, tons of videos on my channel looking at SaucerSwap and its V2 proposal and tokenomics, etc. So check those out if you guys aren't fully aware. But we won't basically be seeing a max circulating supply for another 4 years or so, but just something to bear in mind. The interesting thing I wanted to look at here, if we're looking at some really sort of rough and ready back of the napkin maths, is the market cap to TVL. So if we scroll up to the top and we look at some big chains, of course, Uniswap on Ethereum, PancakeSwap on BNB, you've got Curve DEX there, ThorChain, SushiSwap. A lot of those have a market cap to TVL ratio of somewhere near 1 there or thereabouts. You can see Osmosis there for Atom being at a 5. So what this, of course, is the market cap of those particular DEXs themselves as a ratio of the total value locked. So we take that as effectively a multiple for where the SaucerSwap token go in the future. We're currently sat at a 0.61. We're of course seeing TVL continue to increase. In fact, many different records got smashed over the end of December of 2023, the last week or two. We could effectively double the value of the SaucerSwap token and we'll be very comfortably inside those ratios the majority of the other larger layer 1 dexes are currently experiencing. So we could see effectively source price tokens anywhere from about 15 to 20 cents quite comfortably. And of course, that could continue to expand into the future. In fact, there is absolutely no reason we could see very, very high token prices for the likes of Source because of the robust tokenomics that we currently see. Don't forget, it is a very small market cap in comparison to a lot of these other chains currently. Like I said, $74 million fully diluted. Again, make sure you're doing your own research. Like I said, loads of different videos on my particular channel, but I am here for it in terms of the Source token performing incredibly well. In fact, I wanted to give this a quick read because the SaucerSwap Labs team did release a year in review type of thing, unprecedented growth and innovation for 2023. Of course, bidding farewell to 2023, wanted to take a quick look at a load of the different stuff they've done. Loads of stuff here about total value locked hitting $60 million, extending from sort of 45 to 25 in top DEX ranks. Information about the average volume increasing 300% to $3 million. Integration of MetaMask, enhanced capital efficiency via SaucerSwap V2. Of course, got a dedicated video on that. But if we quickly flick through those key events that they've outlined, you had a partnership back in January of 23 with LedgerWorks Sentinel for scalability. 500,000 all-time trades were hit. $25 million in total value locked. Then hit 30 million by the 20th. We had a few different AMAs. We had Japanese and Turkish documentation released. $100 million in total trade volume in February. We had open sourced LP token time lock smart contracts. Overhauled web apps got released in March. Upgraded HTS charts for price, liquidity, and volume in terms of HBAR. Citadel Wallet Ask Me Anythings went live. $150 million in total trade volume, and so on and so forth. Scaling up towards the sort of tail end of the year, where we saw $200 million in total trade volume. So we can see this continually building throughout 2023, a 10x effectively there in total trade volume. They attended Permissionless 2 alongside HEDERA. They integrated into the Gecko terminal. So a lot of different DEX screeners as well now available for a lot of the HEDERA ecosystem. We had the V2 SaucerSwap launch alongside all the docs. Tons of different stuff there happening throughout October and November leading up into December. $5 million in TVL and SaucerSwap V2, 10 million, etc. 50 million TVL. And then, of course, rounding out the year effectively at that 25 position in terms of DEXs. Everyone is looking forward to 2024. SaucerSwap Labs is thrilled to continue developing the SaucerSwap protocol. Although not comprehensive, here are some select highlights from their 2024 roadmap. So looking forward to this year, the in-development projects, Source Pro is a big one with a list of different features. Active liquidity management protocol integrations, upgraded buyback programs, initiating more custom-tailored Lari campaigns, Lari analytics, ongoing web app optimizations, token-weighted voting systems, auto-router changes. You've got on-chain limit orders, community pools, front-end bridge integration, fiat on-ramp integration, batch transactions, and HEDERA Wallet Connect integrations all taking place. Looking at the Source Pro though, something quite interesting that I wanted to quickly touch on without making this video too long, but effectively Source Pro will unlock high definition features for people that wish to participate. So things like AI Assistant, Early Access Pass, and 1-minute price data all become available immediately. And then you've got further things in the future, such as future add-ons. Again, I may do a dedicated video on this as we get closer towards seeing more features released for Source Pro and as we get closer towards the launch of that. HashPack as well has been doing incredibly well throughout 2023 and will strive to do more throughout 2024. Momentous year. As they say goodbye to December, let's reflect on some of those highlights and achievements of 2023. They had email logins, the iOS app launched, you had Secure Trade V2, the HashPack store went live, you had supporter tokens, decent support, HashPack themes, you've got the marketplace, you've got HashPack Studio, Wallet Connect, and of course, much more happened throughout 2023 and much more will happen throughout 2024. So again, big celebration there effectively for HashPack's sort of dedication to the HEDERA ecosystem, helping onboard those users and make that experience as seamless as is possible for low friction. Wouldn't be a HEDERA video from me without looking at some of the large-scale use cases. Of course, we're all very, very fond of the high throughput and transactions that we see on HEDERA. And finally, we have some very big news from another governing council member. So 𝗟𝗜𝗏 CRE 2023 was a major year of growth for us, with the major announcement of this year being 𝗟𝗏𝗏 is actually building on HEDERA. 𝗟𝗏𝗏 CRE is building on HEDERA to broaden the accessibility to CRE investing through tokenization by providing a compliant security token studio, issuance and integrated wallet development technology to their ecosystem. There was a one-to-one interview with the HBAR bull. Of course, you guys can go and check that out. But really interesting here to see that they are effectively building on HEDERA. And of course, it is real-world asset tokenization, something I've focused on heavily over the last 6 to 12 months as well in these videos. 𝗟𝗏𝗏 are early pioneers in RWA tokenization and place among the global leaders in the CRE space. Head of FinTech Payments at the HBAR Foundation, we're excited to support and use the HEDERA network to host billions, yes, billions in tokenized real estate on HEDERA. And of course, real estate was one of the things I gave as a sort of tongue-in-cheek example when we were talking about real-world asset tokenization probably about 1 to 2 years ago. Their second announcement, though, is that 𝗟𝗏𝗏 secured a $4 billion real estate portfolio in the GCC to onboard and distribute onto the blockchain. So effectively $4 billion of portfolio is coming on-chain to HEDERA. This transaction is evidence of the global adoption of real-world asset tokenization, and they are leading the way. Stowe Market breaks down this opportunity, $4 billion portfolio coming on-chain. So trading is coming to a halt, Exodus. Some different information here, but effectively this is commercial real estate that 𝗟𝗏𝗏 CRE are bringing onto the blockchain. Anyway, guys, hopefully you did enjoy that video. Quite a long one, but nonetheless important to start off the year. We are seeing some very, very positive action from across the cryptocurrency space, and HEDERA is continuing to go through or from strength to strength with some of those incredible partners from across the space that are building all that infrastructure and have been for the last 1 to 2 years, finally starting to reap the benefits. Of course, more videos from me coming throughout this year. Hopefully you guys did enjoy all the videos as of last year, and we'll continue to enjoy them going forward into the future. As always, feel free to leave a like. You can always subscribe to catch my latest content, and leave a comment if you've got something to say. I do respond to as many of them as I possibly can. Anyway, Happy New Year. I'll see you again soon. Cheers.